How do you flush the toilet? I was 17 years old, and just a week into my experience as a high school exchange student to the French speaking part of Belgium. My host family had come to a gathering of their friends, my Belgian sisters, Christelle, who was 12, and Virginie, who was 9. They were off dancing and playing with all the other little kids their age. My Belgian parents, whom I called Mama and Papa, they were in their late 30s. They were at the table with all the other adults having a lively discussion enhanced by some warm Belgian beer, bread, and cheese. And me, I was in the bathroom. I was in the bathroom, frustrated out of my mind. It had been like this the whole week. People would laugh and I wanted to know what they were laughing about, but I couldn't understand what they said. And then this evening there was the heated discussion around the table, and I wanted to have an opinion, but whenever I caught a word, it was about someone I didn't know or some place I had never been. And I was beyond bearable with frustration. Before they had sent us overseas, the exchange student company had given us a weekend-long orientation on how to be an exchange student. And they explained cultural exchange using a metaphor of sunglasses. They said, for example, that every American was born with 2 eyes, 2 ears, 2 arms, 2 legs, and in time, their family and their community fitted them with a pair of blue sunglasses so that they saw the entire world the same as everybody else, only filtered through these blue lenses. And that in this example, every Belgian was born with 2 eyes, 2 ears, 2 arms, 2 legs, and in time, their family and their community fitted them with a pair of yellow sunglasses so that they saw everything that everyone else in the world saw, only filtered yellow through their sunglasses. And our job as an exchange student was to take off our blue sunglasses and to do whatever it took to acquire a pair of yellow sunglasses. And Lord, how I wanted those sunglasses. For years, I had dreamed of being an exchange student, and sending me on this trip was a huge financial investment for my American family back in Ohio. I had done everything I could to prepare. I got straight A's in French. I did bonus work in the summer. But it turns out that my American high school French teacher spoke French with an American accent. And she spoke it slowly and was careful to use only the words that she knew I knew. Whereas my Belgian family and all their friends spoke French and used whatever words they wanted. They spoke at a conversational speed with a regional accent. And I was completely lost. Yes, my host mother was a second grade teacher, and in case of emergency, she could pull it in to elementary school French. I could understand that pace and vocabulary, but talking like that was unsustainable in day-to-day life. And so by the time that we came to this party, I was at my breaking point. How was this going to work? How was I going to get these yellow sunglasses if I couldn't even understand what anybody was saying? How was I going to find a place where I could fit in and be part of this all? How was I going to help my parents make good on their investment in me? And so when I couldn't take it anymore, I had excused myself from the table, went to the restroom, and I cried. I didn't just cry, I wept. And when I was done weeping, I peed. And then I couldn't figure out how to flush the toilet. There wasn't a tank behind the seat with a lever like you'd expect to find. Oh my God, dear God, help me, please. And then I saw it up there on the wall by the ceiling, the tank with a metal chain and a wooden fob hanging down. Well, at least there's that. I wiped my eyes, gathered myself, said, "Look, Janelle, you didn't come all this way to cry in some foreigner's bathroom." And then it hit me. These people lived here. They weren't the foreigner. I was. And so I pulled myself together and went back out into the party. Well, not long after I left the bathroom, my host parents gathered up the kids and we all left the party. When we got back to our house, they kissed Christelle and Virginie goodnight, and they sent them upstairs to bed. And then Maman sat down on the couch in the living room and patted the seat beside her. "Janelle, assieds-toi. Janelle, sit down." And so I went over and I sat beside her. La Belgique est un pays avec deux langues. And in her best elementary school French, she began to explain to me that Belgium is a country with two languages. In the south, they speak French, but in the north, they speak Dutch. And from the time Belgian children are in junior high, each summer they go for 2 weeks to stay with a family on the other side of the country so that they can learn the language and customs of their countrymen. Mais tout le temps, je savais que mes parents étaient jusque-là. But all the time, I knew my parents were just 2 hours away. Sometimes I feel very frustrated. People laugh. I want to laugh. I don't know. They are passionate, and I want to say, but I don't know what they say. Is like to be deaf. But all this time, Janelle, I know that my family is just 2 hours away by car. Your family, an ocean. Can't imagine. Tonight, when you went to the bathroom, did you cry? Oui, maman. Oui. This is forbidden. It is forbidden for you to cry alone. The next time you feel this, come to me and we will cry together. And we hugged and we melted and we melded, crying there together on that couch. And when we had had our cry and I wiped away the tears. Suddenly, everything seemed a bit yellow. Well, the weeks passed, and I grew more and more comfortable with the language and with my new pair of yellow sunglasses. I was so proud of them. And one weekend, my host parents decided that we would all go as a family to visit a very famous cave in the Ardennes. And so we went. It was a beautiful region, gentle mountains, very similar to the countryside of Vermont. There was a line for the German-speaking tour to go into the caves. There was a line for the English-speaking tour. There was a line for the Dutch tour and a line for the French tour. And I, very proudly, stood in the French-speaking tour line with my host family and my fabulous pair of yellow sunglasses. And as we stood there, I began to think about this tour. Maman, combien de temps dans le grotte? Maman, how much time will we be in this cave? Oh, hour, maybe two. There's a boat ride, eh? Great. Mama, where is the bathroom? No, she pointed up the hill towards a large pine tree at the top. Janelle, see that tree at the top of the hill? Yes, Mama. The bathroom is behind this tree. Very good. And so I trotted off out of the line, up the hill I ran, and I thought, this is a tourist location for sure. There's a public restroom. Perhaps it's a small little porta potty or something behind this tree. I just couldn't see it from the angle down there. But when I got up to the top of the hill and I looked behind the tree, there was nothing but another tree. Clearly, I must have misunderstood the French. So I went running down the hill. Maman, il n'y a pas de toilette derrière de l'arbre. Maman, there isn't a toilet behind the tree. My 12 and 9-year-old sisters standing in line went. When I reached the bottom of the hill, Maman grabbed Christelle, the 12-year-old, and said, Christelle, show Janelle the toilet behind the tree. And so the two of us went running back up the hill. And we got behind the tree, and Christelle took and grabbed a hold of her skirt, flared it, and squatted and said, Comme ça, Janelle, comme ça, like this. Oh my God, I had never taken an outdoor pee before. And then she stood up like she's gonna wait there until I finished. Ah, ça va, Christelle, on y va. That's good, I got it, I can handle it from here. And down she scurried the hill. Well, girls gotta do what a girl's gotta do, and I did what I had to do. And then as I made my way back down the hill, all 30 people standing in the French-speaking line, and truthfully, some of the Dutch and German as well, were looking up at me. And I realized that not only did they know what I had just done behind the tree, but they were keenly aware that I was too naive to know how to do it without a 12-year-old showing me how. When I took my place back in line, I took my yellow sunglasses off, polished them a bit, looked again. Yep, sure enough, right there was a dark blue blind spot. I didn't know what I didn't know. I'd have to be careful of that blind spot going forward, that's for sure. Well, a few more weeks passed. I was deep into the experience by now, completely comfortable in my yellow sunglasses. I was thinking in French and dreaming in French and able to participate in the daily life with my host family and their friends. And then my host parents decided that it was time to take me to see Brandonk. Now, they weren't going to take Christelle and Virginie. No, they were still too young. But they would take me because I was 17 and they felt it was part of the experience. Brandonk is a fortress that was built in northern Belgium in World War I, and it was commandeered by the Nazis in World War II. It was a collection camp, a place where they brought Jews until they had a trainload full of people, and then they would load them onto that train and send them to camps deeper into Germany or into Poland, and we all know what happened there. Brandonk was also a place where they brought captured members of the resistance and they tortured them for information. It was also at Brandonk where they would line up innocent villagers and execute them for activities of the resistance. Mama shared all this with me, and then she said, we need to call your parents in Ohio. Yes, we need to call them, and you will translate the call for us because we need the permission to take you to such a place. And I said, Mama, while I'm here, I'm your child. You're my parents. I'm 17 years old. If you want to take me there, you can take me there. You don't need my parents' permission in Ohio. No, Jenna, no. You are 17. And when we take you to this place, you will lose a certain innocence. And I will not do that to someone else's child without their permission. No, we will make the call, you will translate, and your parents have the choice. And so that's what we did. We called my parents back in Ohio. I explained to them the nature of the place that Mama and Papa wanted to take me to visit, and they gave their permission. Well, the day came for us to go to Brandonk. Mama, Papa, and I piled into the car, and we made the 1.5-hour drive. Brandonk is located in the Dutch-speaking part of Belgium. It is more or less exactly as it was the day the Nazis left. The Belgians have made no attempt to sanitize this experience. The room where they tortured people is still stained with blood, gutters in the floor to collect the blood. The wall outside where they stood people to execute them by firing squad is still there, the wood shattered and splintered from the bullets and stained with blood. The only thing that's different is a list of the names and the ages of the people who died against that wall. And I stood there and I read those names. Henri Libois, 21. Julien Lambert, 20. Michel Dumont, 20. Monique Lafèvre, 17. My age, André Richard. 12. 12. I stood by that wall and I imagined what it would be like to stand in front of it and look at those guns pointed at me. There were other people touring Brandonk that day, but no one there spoke in anything above a whisper. When we were finished, we walked back out to the car in silence. Papa driving, Mama seated beside him, me in the back seat. A somber silence between us. I took those yellow sunglasses off. Was this a function of that blue blind spot? I don't know. No, I took them off and I set them beside. I got out my blue sunglasses. I tried those on. No, there was no pair of sunglasses that I could use that would make any sense of what I had just seen. I took the blue sunglasses off and sat there with no sunglasses on at all. And I felt a bit dizzy. And I laid across the back seat and wept the rest of the way home. It's been a little over 40 years since that visit to Brandonk. My host family and I still keep in contact with each other. I'm going back to visit them soon. I still have my pair of yellow sunglasses. I like to take them out from time to time and get a different perspective on things, particularly when I watch the evening news. My 17-year-old self was so proud of those yellow sunglasses and worked so hard to get them. And my now 60-year-old self wonders, what would the world be like if we all just took off the sunglasses? What if we saw each other, even if just for a moment, as we truly are, unfiltered? I suspect we would all be a bit dizzy at first. But then I think we would just be in love. And then I suspect that we would melt and meld until we could all cry together.